Chapter 4 Lost in Woods. The heart of the forest. Low rage. The morning smelled of safety, fur, earth, and the forest. I opened my eyes and saw other people cuddling up with me, their muzzles resting on their paws as they slept. Gently snoring filled Gentle snoring filled the warm space under the low-hanging branches of the spruce tree. I went outside, or I quietly crawled outside using willpower.
I'm not going to do that because I think that's cunning. So I'm just going to go outside.
Stepping over the sleeping forms, I made my way outside. Alone, hiding in the tall grass, I sniffed around. The sky was bright and the forest around me was dark and full of interesting smells. High in the trees, birds yelled about status, sex, and violence. I was in danger, plus a rage. Memories started to come back, or something was wrong with that picture, minus one rage.
I think I'm going to go with this one. The -1 rage. To lower my rage again, but also because I want to know what it does.
Something wasn't right. My brain wasn't working as it should. The smells were too strong. The grass was too tall, and there was a quality I couldn't recall that was missing from the view in front of my eyes. A creature stirred in the bushes nearby, a tall, dark silhouette, a strangely familiar smell. I tensed up, or I tried to run away.
I'm not going to run, so I tensed up.
I tensed up and watched the human as they looked around. Maya, there you are, they said when they noticed me. It was time to get out of there.
I spasmed. I was in wolfie form.
Suddenly, a feeling like cramp or a spasm surged through me, and everything changed. I was Hamid, the human form. My body started resetting itself in the familiar shape, and it hurt. Bones broke and fused again, muscles and sinews moved under my skin. I cried and thrashed. Then, panting and sweaty, I was human again. I hit the ground with my bare ass. Colors exploded. The morning breeze suddenly became cold, and I shivered.
I looked up.
Confused, I looked at the person approaching me. Cornell is friendly. You look cold. Cornell smirked and threw me a bundle of clothes. You better not change for a while. They won't survive it. Not until you learn the right, at least.
I took the bundle. And I noticed this with yours playthrough. You shift like 2 or 3 times, and they never bring up the clothes thing again.
Yep. I snatched the bundle and started pulling the clothes on. Sneakers, loose-fitting jeans, a hoodie with a unicorn. They fit perfectly.
I thought about the previous night.
I thought about the previous night when I was raging through the forest, about how differently I experienced the world through the wolf senses, and about the discomfort and confusion of changing shape.
So I was a werewolf. Gain a willpower.
Progression, goal. There was no denying it. I was no longer a human. It was all their fault. Take a spiritual path and say, wait a moment, a right? Or I appreciated the help.
I'm going to go with the spiritual path.
Spiritual. Did you mention a right? I raised an eyebrow. You mean magic is real. You're a werewolf. Do you even need to ask? We just stood there for a moment, comfortable in silence. I was wondering how one usually learned that they were a werewolf. But how come nobody knew about werewolves? Or I asked Cornell about his history using willpower.
I'm going to talk about the werewolves and why no one knows about them.
It doesn't make any sense, it suddenly struck me. How come nobody knows werewolves exist? We protect the veil, was the answer. It's easy to convince humans that supernatural doesn't exist. They already want to believe that, and the delirium helps.
Delirium? Question mark.
You mean delirium as in the medical condition? I asked, remembering something that I had read about acute confusional states. You'll have to ask Pat for that, but the gist of it is that humans are incapable of remembering that they saw Krinos, he laughed. They panic, turn away, and instantly forget. Every time. Use a willpower and ask Cornell about his history, or then you realize something.
I think I want to ask him about his history, but at the exact same time, I don't care. So, then I realized something.
And then I realized something important.
The wolves had awoken. I'm not sure how that's important.
At some point, the rest of the party had awoken and joined us. The clearing was full of wolves.
Fuck. I'm not sure why, but okay.
Fight or flight. Zero rage. The wolves are closing in on me, but they aren't really wolves, were they? They weren't really wolves, were they? They were werewolves like me. You can use denial and escape, or accept and coordinate.
I'm gonna accept. It's
Or
weird that this is a
cooperation.
choice.
Hiding the bodies. The headless body was heavy. They said that as my first kill, it was my burden. It was my duty to take it to the Barrows. I didn't want to do it, +1 rage. It was heavy in more ways than one. Or use a willpower, and I got my shit together.
I'm gonna go with the concept that it was more heavy. It was heavy in more ways than one.
Guilt was eating at me. I guess it was obvious. You have to balance the death you cause with your achievements. Cornell looked at me in the eyes. That is the path of the Garou. He accompanied me, carrying the severed head in a bag. The others stayed behind, covering the tracks. I couldn't believe Anya was dead, or I focused on the walk.
Couldn't believe Anya was dead.
She only wanted to help, you know, I said quietly. She was so worried about what's happening here, and it's hard, Cornell admitted. Looking at me with sympathy, but we're at war. Death happens. The faster you learn to accept and honor it, the better the soldier you'll be. You can either take damage, but the body was too heavy, or you just kept dragging the body and used your willpower.
I'm gonna do that one.
I think I shifted here
Yeah.
to the, not the Crino, but the
Yeah.
other one there. I kept dragging the body, getting more tired and more sweaty with every step. Suddenly I knew what to do, use a willpower, or zero rage, but I couldn't tap into it.
This one should allow me a shift, but I'm gonna go with this one.
Zero rage. I tried, really, but I couldn't. It was as frustrating as trying to take a shit when you're constipated. It doesn't work, I said, frustrated. Why doesn't it work? Cornell looked at me up and down, not surprised at all, and sighed. Sorry about this.
He's gonna slap me.
About what? And the slap to my face was all the answer I needed. I changed, or suddenly I knew what to do. Come on, you can't be that thick. Yeah, Glabro is what I did.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Glabro as well.
Because it gives you that extra little bit of oomph. I was Glabro, the near-human form. The pain was stronger than I ever imagined. I felt my muscles spasm as they rearranged themselves, my jaw cracked and my mouth filled with blood. I clenched my fists and claws drove into my palms. I screamed. When I rose, panting and sweaty, I was more than human. I was Glabro, wolfish, strong, scary.
It hurt, and Gina will.
Progressed in goal. The change hurt more than I expected. The world shifted, not much, but enough. I felt my teeth get sharper and muscles stronger. I picked up the body, and it was a lot lighter.
We went on. If I had gone the other way, I think I would have lost my will and then shifted.
Probably.
But I want to keep will, so...
I thought you were going to have to spend a rage to
I did too.
shift, but obviously not. We made our way through the forest. I realized we weren't alone. Somehow I knew what I'd seen before. I knew what I'd seen before I even saw it. That was a weird way of saying that.
Where is it? I realized that we weren't alone. Somehow I knew what I'd seen before I even saw it. Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, I said seen instead of
Yeah,
see.
see. Yeah.
Yeah. A white
Because that's what
weasel.
it is.
Yeah.
I'd see.
Knew what I'd
Yeah, I
see
knew it.
before I
Okay,
saw
there
it.
we go. That makes
Yeah.
sense now. I knew that I'd see it before okay, yeah.
A
Wow,
white.
that is a weird way of saying it, though.
Yeah. Uh, a white weasel and a dark gray wolf. Ah, my companion smiled. I see you've noticed our patrons. Patrons? Or I remember them from my dream.
Remember them from my dream.
Yeah, we know each other, I said, remembering my dream. We sort of met the other night. The two animals stopped in front of me in the middle of the path. We came here to teach the cub, said the wolf. She smelled of ash and tears.
Was I hallucinating? I don't know why you think you hallucinate. Out of all the fucking shit that's been happening to you, you're seeing fucking shit that someone else is seeing too, that you saw in a fucking dream. You think you're fucking hallucinating? Unless everyone's hallucinating the same fucking hallucination. Mrs. I'm now a fucking tall humanoid.
I couldn't believe what I saw. It made no sense. I felt as if my brain was short circuiting trying to interpret signals not meant for human senses. Was there really a wolf? Was it really a weasel?
I'm gonna go with the weasel because I want to try dealing more with the weasel, doing the fact that that's the path I'm gonna be taking.
When I turned my eyes away from the weasel, it flickered as if it was just a projection on a broken screen. One moment an animal, a moment later just an idea. When it talked, the air smelled of electric discharge, and I felt like the words displayed directly in my mind.
They wouldn't leave me alone.
But hallucinations or not, they just wouldn't leave me alone. The weasel circled me, and before I knew it, I could feel small claws on my leg, then on my back, and then on my arm. It smelled of musk and electricity, and then it bit my ear. I tried to shake it off, gain a rage. I ignored it, or why would it do that? Minus a rage.
Why would it do that? Minus rage. I want to get rid of that.
Hi, pumpkin. Ow! I shouted. Why would you do that? To see how you would react, obviously. The weasel's electronic voice echoed in my head. Enough! The wolf growled, or at least that's what my brain decided to hear.
I felt the weasel draw its breath.
In the beginning, there was Gaia, aka Mother Earth, and she gave birth to to a mighty breed of warriors, the weasel began. It sounded electronical, like a teenager reading a Wikipedia page over a voice chat. They were called Garou, that's werewolves and werewolfish, and their sole purpose was to protect Gaia. They failed, wailed the wolf. I looked at the weasel for advice, or I looked at the wolf.
Yeah, of course they fucking failed. Do you know why they fucking failed? I think I brought this up last time. It's because they attacked the fucking brethren! Which is all the other lycanthropes. Look for the weasel for advice.
Why did they fail? I looked at the weasel for advice. When time began, Gaia released three primal forces upon the earth: the weaver, the wild, and the worm. The weasel continued. The wild was the untamed force of life and creation. The cold, ruthless weaver gave structure to the world, and the worm destroyed what needed to be destroyed, creating balance. Were we creatures of the worm, weaver, or wild?
I think you picked wild last time, didn't you? That wasn't right. It's actually weaver.
I thought I picked weaver, but
No, because I think the problem is that the wild is creating life. I'm gonna go with this.
so were we creatures of the weaver? I asked, enforcing order. They are Gaia's children, the wolf snarled, born to herd and contain humans.
So what went wrong?
I can see that something went wrong, I smiled wryly. Or wryly. The weaver grew too ambitious and trapped the worm within its lifeless web. The Weasel answered. Confined and denied, the worm went slowly insane.
The wolf wailed.
Now Gaia is dying, choked by the weaver, and eaten alive by the worm, wailed the wolf. And you must sometimes fight the weaver, it said in a sad voice, but usually you can reason with its servants. Then it turned and led the way.
It took us to the burrows.
It didn't look much different than the other parts of the forest until you noticed the mounds, that is. There was something about the flattened hills that drew my full attention. They must have been bigger in the past, I could remember, or I felt dizzy.
I could remember.
A memory stirred in my mind. No, it wasn't a memory. It was a feeling anchored in my chest, akin to the taste of ash in my mouth and the smell of smoke. Longing, sadness, resignation.
But there was more.
A sense of sacredness. It filled me with a calm excitement, and when I closed my eyes, I saw a fire burning in the darkness. Cornell kneeled near one of the mounds, put his hand on it, and whispered a few words. I saw the ground open slowly, like a mouth in the earth. I sighed. Let's do this.
We put the body in the hole.
We took the severed head and the body I'd wrapped up in sheets and put them in the hole. It closed slowly, and I could swear I heard the trees nearby sigh in anticipation. The wolf howled, and I could feel the hair on my hands rise. Welcome to your new life. The talking white weasel grinned. We have something else to show you.
I ran with... I'm not going to let you say this one. Sorry. I ran with them or lose the willpower, and I had so many questions. I'm just going to run with them.
Vision quest. You are a cub, so you have special privileges, and... said the weasel. Pushka will grant you a vision. You must see to understand, said the wolf. Think carefully before you choose what to see.
Yeah, you can only see one.
Yeah, I think I ended up...
You went with the past.
Yeah.
I can't... There we go. I was going to say, I can't do the present. I don't know if there's an achievement based off of this. But it's your destiny. Right, I should really be going with this one. The future. Your destiny.
The tangled paths. It was hard to find the place of power, although I knew where it was. Pushka is sympathetic. I felt the Pushka playing with me, twisting paths, blocking my way with bushes and dead trees, and then suddenly opening a new path that was straight and full of sunshine. I got tired of it, +1 rage, but I pushed on.
I pushed on.
Determined, I pushed on. Since the change, I had become acutely aware of how my body worked, and I remembered that humans were good at running. Stubborn, relentless, long-distance running. Not as fast as a deer, not as nimble as a wolf, but steady and without rest. So I ran.
Then I was there.
And then I was there. There it was, the place of power, stones in a circle, old apple trees, and buzzing in the air.
I opened my mind to the buzzing.
The tangled futures. I open my mind. There is a swirl. It starts deep within me, and then it expands. Everything is in motion, and there is no center anymore. I see a bird, I see a forest, or there is grass.
I'm going to go with, I see a forest.
There is a forest where wolves hunt, some of them alive, some long dead. There is a mother wolf, her howl like a keen. She keens after me when I fall. She mourns my blood that spills on the ground. Yet another of her cubs lost.
It whispers.
In balance with this life, this death, it whispers to me.
trees grow.
Little trees grow from where my eyes have been.
Life goes on.
A snail lives in my open mouth. Life goes on.
Seasons pass.
Squirrels hide their acorns between my ribs. Seasons pass.
Years go by.
The acorns grow and turn into oak trees. Years go by. And then there is no more of me, or no more me, and no more forest. There is only us. And there is rage, but there is no time, or us working together.
Us working together.
Us who work together hand in hand, cleaning the fallen trees, protecting the standing ones, healing the damaged, building the roads, breathing the air, hiding under the trees from the burning sun. Talking, but there are other paths.
I'm gonna go with talking.
Talking, reasoning, living. The wolf is keening in the forest.
I open my eyes.
The ash-gray wolf stands in front of me. Do you understand what you have to do? She asked. I had to set the world on fire, or I had to choose my path.
I had to choose my path.
I understand what I have to do, I said. There are many paths in front of us, and I have to choose the right one.
It was my destiny. Gain a will.
Progressed goal. I am an agent of destiny, I realized. I can still change the future. The fight is the only righteous path, child. The wolf shook her head. It's your destiny. She looked me in the eyes. No compromise. Be my teeth, be my claws, be my rage. Kill them all, save the forest.
I looked at her.
I looked at her, and perhaps for the first time, I saw her for who she was. Zero rage. Her pelt was marred with fire, her eyes were smoking embers, ash was falling from her heaving flanks. She looked old, ancient, sad, and alone. She was mourning incarnated, or she was the wolf from my vision.
She was morning incarnated.
She was the very idea of mourning made flesh, driven by a feeling of loss so profound that it burned everything in its wake. But she was more than that. She was also the Pushka. She was more than one wolf, or she was the darkness.
I think I'm gonna go with she was more than one wolf.
She was more than one wolf, but a combined memory of all wolves who had lost their cubs, their kin, their brothers and sisters since humans came to the Pushka. At least that was what I thought when I looked at her. The wolf mother looked back at me, and something in her eyes made me realize that she was sending me with a prophetic dream. She was the one sending me prophetic dreams revealing my destiny. Join me, she pleaded. Only you can understand me. Only you. I joined her, +1 rage, but I decided to walk my own path.
So right now I'm at a crossroads because I didn't want to get the rage. And I really feel like she's just rage incarnate, right?
Yeah.
I have to walk my own path.
She's now cautious. I took a step back, then another, and another. I turned away and chose my own path. Do not fool yourself, the wolf cried to me. There is no choice. There never was.
The future awaited.
One of us. A lone howl pierced the silence like a single ray of moonlight in the darkness. There was another one, and then another, and then another, and a choir of voices triumphant and joyful.
I opened my eyes and gained some health. Oh, 2 health. Woo.
I opened my eyes. I was in a clearing. Around me there were wolves, huge monstrous wolves, howling at the moon. Werewolves just like me, or Zero Rage. I realized that was my life now.
I realized this was my life now.
Zero Rage. In In a moment of bittersweet reflection, I understood that my old life was over. Maya, the student, was part of the past. My future was now forever linked to what happened in the forest. Well, hello there, Cornell smiled at me. And welcome to the Sept. The what? Gives you rage. The Sept, whatever that meant, or I just listened.
I just listened.
I realized that my survival depended on learning very quickly, so I just nodded and listened. For a werewolf, the pack is family, Cornell explained, and an alliance of packs united is a common goal. In a common goal is a sept.
So there were 2 packs there.
I realized that there must have been at least 2 packs there. I looked at Olga, Cornell, Kim, or Pat.
Oh, shoot. Do you remember which one I'm supposed to be looking at?
Um, Not Olga, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say Kim's the bone gnar, so I'm just gonna double check if Pat is the one you're going for.
Yeah, I'm looking that up too. Okay. Thanks. My screen went dim. Werewolf. Yep. Nope. I want this. Please. There. Packs. Or traps. Yeah, there we go. Go here. Yep. Yes, that's fine. View page. I don't think this is the page, the one I wanted. No. Crap. Sorry, guys. I think I could probably look at most people, but I just wanted to actually. I think if I look at the right person, I can get a little bit more favor with them. And if I can get a little bit more favor with them, then it works out, right? Uh, yeah, I'm not actually being able to find it as quickly as I wanted to. Son of a.
I think Pat's the one you're wanting to go for.
Okay, I'll look at Pat. I'll take your.
Well, it's Urban Jungle would be the achievement.
I'll take your word for it. Oh wow, any of them would have worked. Holy shit.
A young and black wolf changed into Pat, and Kim and Cornell joined her in moments. We are the Winter Weasel Pack, and said Kim. The white shadow settled on Pat's shoulder. I smelled musk and electricity.
And then I look at Olga, who's the only one that's the other one.
The three of the monstrous wolves changed. Olga and Lisa stood up, human looking again, their clothes rumpled. A yellow-eyed wolf by their side turned out to be Daniel. We are the pack of the mourning wolf mother, said Olga. They smell of ash and tears, and for a moment I saw the wolf spirit among them. We are all Gaia's soldiers, said Cornell, in that we have no choice, but we can choose whom we fight alongside. Spiritual path? Why the animal spirits? Did I have to join a pack, or I had so many questions?
Well, we'll start with the top here.
Okay.
What's happening here?
I was just trying to get that up on my phone.
Oh, it should be fine afterwards because I can actually talk to them, and they should tell me which one I'm choosing. It was just at that point in time I was trying to hope that if I looked at the right person, I'd gain favor for that person.
Yes. Does every pack have an animal spirit, I asked? How does that work? Such spirits are called patrons, and not all are animals, Lisa explained. And our pacts with them give us additional weapons with which to fight the sickness and corruption of the worm. The last word reeked of decay and burning oil. Did I have to join a pack, or I had so many questions?
Yeah, I'll go with it.
Do I have to choose a pack, I asked, just to make sure? No guru can survive on their own, Cornell said with sympathy. Our old human life is over, or your old human life is over, but we will never abandon you.
That's not true, but I had so many questions.
I have so many questions. I shook my head. What about the moon? Was every sept that diverse? Or how did the spirits work?
We'll start from the top.
Why did I hear the moon whispering to me, I asked. Luna gave us rage. That is why she's important, Olga said. And that is why you'll never be able to touch Silver again.
I just want to see something. Was it Y for my character sheet?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I'm going down to the spiritual. Analytical was pretty close.
Yep.
Was every sept this diverse?
You are from all over Europe, I noticed. Is this like a standard for a sept?
I look at Cornell. We're not even gonna. Olga can go fuck herself.
I didn't even know if that was a stupid question or a smart one. I looked at Cornell. Is far from the standard, but desperate times make strange bedfellows, he smiled sadly. Normally a sept is dominated by one tribe, maybe two. There are at least a dozen tribes, Daniel interrupted, and I hope, Maya, that you choose yours wisely.
How did the spirits work?
What about the spirits, I asked. How does that work? The world casts a shadow, and we call it the Umbra, said Lisa. And in the shadow, every living creature, every emotion and idea, every important object that exists as a spirit, that's all you need to know at the moment.
I summed it up.
So, if I got this all right, I've been conscripted into an ancient war against the worm, I said slowly, trying to put it all together, and the moon gave me rage as a weapon, but I must avoid Silver.
I took a breath.
And there's a whole secret world of spirits, I continued, and I have to join a pack and choose a tribe. They didn't go over tribes, but whatever.
Yeah. Also, for the record, I can only choose the two. That's a shame. I guess I didn't get enough favor with the two of them. I'll have to look into that in a second. I was gonna say, is it X?
X is the... Yeah.
No, that's not the right one. Then it is journal, or Y. Yeah, she's sympathetic with me. Weird.
I think maybe...
I had to have her one more up.
Well, I don't know. Well...
Yeah, okay.
Exactly, Lisa nodded. As for the tribe, there are two people who could mentor you now. Olga is from the Black Furies, an ancient tribe of woman warriors, and Cornell is from the Children of Gaia, and he's more peace and harmony guy. Your options are, the Children of Gaia seem cool, the Black Furies sounded good, or what about my family's tribe?
What I was gonna say is the fact that when me and Tammy are playing our werewolves, that we actually have werewolf and kinfolk. The kinfolk's entire goal was actually just to see freaking spirits, and he finally got to see spirits after he died and became a vampire. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Children of Gaia. Seem cool.
Tribe of the Unicorn. Cornell is loyal. I think the Children of Gaia sounds cool, I said. Cornell smiled and nodded. Yes, you seem like a good fit, he said. I felt it was a good moment to talk to him for a while. I asked him about his tribe, how did he become a werewolf, or what was between him and Olga.
I asked about his tribe.
The Children of Gaia are the most the most peaceful of all the tribes, Cornell explained. We don't immediately restore...
It's supposed to be resort.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it's meant to say resort to violence, if you know what I mean. I thought I did, or I liked the idea.
I thought I did.
I think so, I said slowly. But how? Werewolves seem to be quite fond of violence. Oh yes, and we really tried to not be the big bad wolf, but from the fairy tales, you know, he laughed. Our patron is the unicorn. Unicorn? That was weird. Badass.
Well, I'm gonna go with the question mark.
Just gonna point out, he gave you a
Yep.
hoodie with a unicorn on it. The magical creature with a soft spot for virgins. That unicorn? I asked. No, the untamed power of the wild unicorn, Cornell corrected me. While the glasswalkers have a cockroach as a patron, and no one makes a fuss. Double standards, if you ask me.
Hold on. I'm really curious why the glasswalkers have that, not the bonars. You think the glasswalkers would have had the weasel,
Yeah.
the electric weasel?
How did he become a werewolf? Was it possible to change tribes? Or what was between him and Olga?
Let's go with this one.
So, how did you become a werewolf? I was born a werewolf, it seems, he answered. I asked again, or that was not what I meant.
I asked again.
So how did you learn you were a werewolf, I asked again. Oh, that. I was serving in Afghanistan. There was an ambush. Stuff happened. What stuff? Or it must have been hard.
What stuff?
What stuff, I asked. Werewolf stuff. He wasn't very forthcoming. They sent me home with PTSD, and once home I got found by others. They needed someone who knew how to fight.
Why?
Why? I asked. We were a real eco-terrorists back then, my pack and I, but I realized the violence only breeds more violence, and it's not the way I want to follow. Was it possible to change tribes? What's between him and Olga? Or I had no other questions.
I'm gonna go with this.
Well, said Cornell slowly, since you've asked, yes, it is possible to change tribes.
Where did I ask? Where did I ask?
I don't know.
Like, all the other ones have always had the characters say something weird. Was there a story?
I listened carefully. You know, I was a glass walker, all bells and whistles, big bad wolf, and then, he sighed, most of my pack was killed and I broke. When I pulled the pieces together, I decided to change the tribe and become a child of Gaia. By the way, that's really hard to do. You don't just up one day and do it. You actually have to find a willing pack that's willing to adopt you.
Yeah. But besides
then
that,
it's
it's
a whole
actually fairly
thing.
easy after that.
Yeah, but it's a whole thing.
But actually, this reminds me, as they're talking, that your character should be able to get Children of Gaia friends. Anyway.
How do you know Olga? I asked. She was in my pack back in Berlin, and for a moment we fought the worm together. He shook his head. But then we lost a battle, and she went back to Poland. I kept asking, or I put a good word for Olga. I'm like, what do you think about her? I asked. She leads the Sept as well as she can, but, you know, sometimes I think she just wants revenge, not to solve the problems. Could they be solved, or he was holding something back?
Could they be solved?
Could they be, or can they be solved? I asked. I think so, yes, but not in such radical ways as she presents. She calls for war laws to be obeyed, and we are not even at war yet.
I had no other questions.
So, have you decided? I need to know about more other tribes, or there were a lot of werewolves there.
I want to go with this one, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to try this and see if maybe I'll actually...
One thing is bugging me, I said. Why are there so many of you here?
Okay.
Suddenly, everyone in White Tower is a werewolf, or what? You know nothing, Volkov laughed bitterly. A mere century ago, there were dozens of packs in these forests. But none of the old guard survived the 90s. Lisa shook her head. We had to start from scratch. Until you showed up, there were only 6 of us, and the 3 of us are the 3 of us not even local. Cornell pointed out, 2 packs too small for their own good.
I needed to know more about the tribes.
I wanted to learn more about the tribes and find an option that would really resonate with who I was.
There we go.
Kim, Daniel, Lisa, Pat, or I didn't want to talk.
There we go. Yay!
Kim is sympathetic.
So she's a bonar.
Kim told me a lot about bonars, urban werewolves fighting for the disadvantaged and the marginalized, children of the rat. Did they really have a rat as a patron, or
Yeah, let's go with that.
you want to know her story? Do you really have a rat as a tribe patron, I asked. Sure we do, Kim answered. It's a very good patron. Resilient. You want to be like a rat. Always managing, always afloat.
I let her keep talking. I think it's what it was. I pressed that way too quickly.
That's why the Bone Nars protect every single guy's child, no matter how small, because we are all valid. They side heavily. Now tell it to the other guru, and they look down on you because you are a Bone Nar, and they think that they are superior. Prejudice everywhere.
So let's go talk to Pat.
Yeah, the other 2 are probably not very good ones to talk to. Pat is a glasswalker, or was a glasswalker, and her tribe was finding its niche in cutting-edge technological cityscapes among the strands of the weaver's net. It sounded intriguing. We talked for a while.
What was she doing in the forest?
So, you were basically a city dweller, I observed. All glasswalkers are. It's our natural habitat. I feel quite out of place in the forest. But the Pushka was our home, or that got my interest.
That got my interest.
Is it a tribe thing? I asked, interested. That's what it is, she nodded. We use the weaver to fight the worm, and the forest is not the weaver's domain. And I happen to be quite fond of humanity. They have great potential.
Yeah. That's the other thing I was going to say, is that we may want to get one of those in our society when we actually start building ours in that vampire society. She didn't look like a werewolf at all. How do you get a spirit patron anyway?
How did you get the winter weasel to be your patron? I was curious. I caught it, Pat said. Or rather, I made sure it would have no more to eat with me than alone.
That's how you catch weasels?
That's how you catch weasels.
Was it a forest spirit?
But it is a forest spirit, isn't it? I think it's a weasel, so it gets accustomed to live where there is food, and right now, it's the city. It hunts electricity spirits these days, and it feasts on them.
I didn't want to say this one, because it feels rude.
Then don't say it.
But, yeah. I think I'm done. I'm not going to spend a willpower on that.
Finally, I stopped asking. I had to think it over, but what I had learned. You could talk to Daniel, who's cautious, Lisa, who's neutral, or you didn't want to talk anymore.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
But I was too exhausted, too bugged to bug them. The 2 is wrong with personal questions. Anyway, before you're admitted to a tribe, you need to prove yourself.
What now? What? Wait, what now?
Prove myself? I was shocked. I hadn't proven myself enough already? Rite of passage. You went through your first change, Pat said. She was leaning on a tree nearby, and you know everything you need to know at the moment. But you have to go through the rite of passage. Daniel rubbed against my leg excitedly. A vision quest, Kim winked at me. And since we don't have time for tests, we need you to solve a real problem, Olga stepped in. Namely, we want you to find a way of ending this logging problem, Cornell said gently. So, how would you like to do it? They looked at me with anticipation. That is not a small task.
Yeah, I know. I took my time.
Zero rage. I took my time, overwhelmed by everything that happened. My old self was gone, replaced by a shape-shifting eco-warrior. But deep down, I was still the same person, with the same ideas and ideals.
I knew what to do. Gain a willpower.
You're getting there. Almost max.
If I was actually a werewolf, I would probably be a glasswalker.
I don't know. For myself. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. Need to make the loggers fear nature, plus a rage. I need to talk to the spirits, or people needed to open their eyes.
I think people needed to open their eyes.
Spiritual.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping.
People need to see what's happening to Gaia and feel her pain, I decided. We have to wake up the spirits. Cornell had another idea.
Hey, that was my line. Cornell had another idea.
Something is rotten in White Tower, Cornell commented, and I think that we should find and neutralize local forces that support the logging.
Pat just laughed.
We should create a diversion. There are too little of us for a direct confrontation with the loggers.
I continued with my plan.
I'll talk to the spirits and see what they can do to help us, I continued. If nature itself destroys the loggers' equipment, then there's no one to blame. Lisa looked thoughtful. I'll introduce you to the spirits you need to talk to, Daniel beamed. Spoken like a true Thurge. You were born under the crescent moon, weren't you, Maya?
How did he know?
You looked at him surprised. How did he know? Spiritual. Mom always told me that when she gave birth to me, she saw a crescent moon through the window shaper and window sharper and brighter than ever before.
Okay, I think she saw a moon through the window. Period. Sharper and brighter than ever before.
Yeah,
there's got to be apostrophe or a period there. Probably yeah. Apostrophe. Okay, I understand that whoever probably wrote this either A, may not have English being their first language, or B, they just, didn't go over it properly, probably a small group or whatever. But even I, who suck at grammar, knows there's supposed to be an apostrophe or something there. I nodded. I got an achievement. Gaia's here.
You're right, I nodded. How did you know? Garu born under the crescent moon are shamans and healers, said Lisa. And you're just like you and me. A worthy Thurge always acts with wisdom, added Olga. Your place in the werewolf society will be determined by your renown. You can earn glory through defeating mighty enemies and succeeding in dangerous quests. You can earn honor by following your moral imperative and upholding the laws of the Guru. And you can earn wisdom by acting efficiently and thinking well before you act. Your renown will change as you play, contributing to Maya's legend among the Guru. No pressure at all.
I think that you and me should actually do a series after this in which we actually play characters similar to us.
I'm pretty sure I played one that was similar to me. Giant rage monster.
I mean, you know what I mean. Maybe doing something like drawings or something. Like a, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Once I started playing this, I really want to get more into it. I felt overwhelmed.
Olga must have sensed my confusion. Come on, we have a lot to discuss, she patted my shoulder. We have to find you a phone and wallet.
Your
Or
phone.
your phone and wallet.
So I followed her.
Nah, just take other people's stuff, you know. I nodded and followed her. I had to tie up loose ends in my old life. You did!
Yeah! You killed your fucking friend! I'm pretty sure you did!
Unless you want to, you know, take out Bartek, too. Back to the beginning. I was sitting on a bus, the sun streaming through the windows, and it was making it hard to see. The narrow roads cut through a dense old forest.
My mind wanders.
I remember doing something important, walking among the trees, looking for something, losing something I loved, gained something unwanted. But then I fully awake and the memories scatter away. We're almost there, says Anya. I did some searching. She looks at me from over her phone, and this place is amazing. The last primordial forest in Europe. I'm excited to be here. It can't be the last one, or she's alive!
She's alive. Yeah.
I laughed. Anya, you're here. You wouldn't believe. I'm not able to finish. I start to cough. I spit blood, or I try to stop.
I try to stop.
My throat is sore, my lungs hurt. Anya, I need help, or I need to stop the bus.
Anya, I need help.
Anya. I turn to her. Anya is dead. She is sitting there in ripped, muddied clothes. Her neck is a gaping wound, seeping black blood. What's wrong? A raspy voice comes from the floor. I look down. Her severed head is under the seat, rolling back and forth as the bus speeds up. I feel something dry and acrid in my mouth, and then it starts to move.
Spiders, spiders.
I spit it out and see thousands of small spiders leaving my mouth. Threads of silk cover me, the seat, and everything around us. I fight, gain a rage. I try to get out, or I scream.
I scream. Screaming is, in my opinion, the human form of growling.
I try to scream, but they gag me the moment I open my mouth. A few seconds later, I'm covered in cobwebs, unable to move.
There is a hiss.
I hear a hiss. Then, slowly, a long, dark, thin shape comes out of Anya's ripped neck. A black snake that reeks of rotten meat, acid, and oil. Don't fight, Maya. You're already mine, it says. Just like your grandpa.
And then it kisses me.